Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. We are going to be diving into the first round of the NHL Playoffs, and the first round is absolutely stellar. It's so exciting. There's so many great matchups, and I've been diving into the deep dive research. I'm really excited to share with you my picks. Now, as you know, my Canucks didn't make the playoffs. Super sad. Hope they make it next year. Who knows if they're going to. I'm just going to enjoy the playoffs, pretend like, I'm not biased, so I'm walking in. If you have not joined my playoff pool yet, you have until the first game on Monday to get your picks in. Go watch my last video, and there's all the links and passcodes and everything's in there. Please join that. Okay, so before we dive into my predictions, I want to just remind us a couple things. Your stars have to be your stars, okay? So if you want to win in the playoffs, your stars have to produce. And there's a lot of stars that do produce in the playoffs. But what really does make some teams go over above is when you have your stars playing well, but you get scoring production from your third and fourth lines. When you do that, you often win games. Also, when you have defensemen that are scoring not only on the power play, but in on 5-on-5, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, of course, it comes down to goaltending. Okay, so with all that in mind, with the records, with all the things that have been happening in the regular season, the matchups, I think we're going to dive into the East first, because that to me is the hardest, most difficult one for sure. Okay, so let's start with the easiest one. Boston versus the Florida Panthers. Now, some of you wanting upset special. Boston lost one game to the Panthers this year. That's it. Both were really good on the power play, but the Boston Bruins is number one on the PK. So, listen, on the PK, Boston number one, Florida was 23. That stat alone. Now, let's throw in that Boston's had 65 wins, broke an NHL record, 135 points they had. The Panthers had 23 less wins than Boston, so it's just a no-brainer. I didn't have to do a deep dive on this one, even though I did. Boston wins in a sweep. I'm calling the sweep. They're winning in 4. Okay, Lightning at Leafs. Very difficult, but Leafs are at home. Won the home ice advantage. That is a big deal. So I want to give them credit for that. Maple Leafs were 2-0-1 against the Lightning, and the Lightning never beat the Leafs this year. That's actually quite an important stat. I'm trying not to ignore that, but the Leafs haven't won in the first round since 2016, I believe. That's how bad it is in Torontoland, and this should be their year, right? Like, especially against the Lightning, but the Lightning are loaded, and so it's hard to do this. Okay, let's dive into it. Power play, Toronto's number 2, Tampa Bay's number 3, PK, Toronto is 12, and Tampa Bay is 15. Like, this is a really tight matchup. Goals against, Toronto 7th, Tampa Bay 14. I think it's going to be a close one. I don't think it's going to be, convincing wins. You got to find ways to win. Okay, so I think that it comes down to goaltending, and at the end of the day, Tampa Bay's goaltending is obviously much more superior than Toronto's. I'm sorry, but Toronto's goaltending is not very good. I don't even know who's going to be starting. Samsonov, Woll, is Murray ever coming back? I don't know. If they're healthy, cool, but I can't. If they get good goaltending, they win this, absolutely. I just don't think they get good goaltending. I want the Leafs to win, but I'm picking Tampa Bay in 6. Okay, Carolina at the New York Islanders. Okay, Carolina, I was never in a moment going to take the Islanders. I was like, but I got to do the research. The Hurricanes won 3 out of the 4 games. Completely dominated, in my opinion, the Islanders in a lot of ways, but both are super bad on the power play. And the New York Islanders are awful on it. They ranked 30th. Oh my goodness, that is so bad. Okay, Carolina is number 2 on the PK. and the Islanders were very good as well at 9, okay? But Barzal is back, so that's the only hope I think that the Islanders have. I just don't think they have a hope. I don't think they're that good. I think that their big win was making the playoffs. I think Carolina beats them in 5. Not that I think Carolina is a huge juggernaut, but they're better than the Islanders. Okay. New York Rangers versus the New Jersey Devils, I think, is the most difficult one to predict. And the Devils absolutely dominated the Rangers 3-0-1 this season. So, I mean, that's troublesome because I'm really high on the Rangers this year, right? It's basically youth versus experience. And look how similar they are, but in opposite ways. Okay, so on the power play, New Jersey was 13th. New York Rangers were 7th. But you flip it, on the power penalty kill, New Jersey was number 4, and the New York Rangers were 13. So it's basically like whoever wins the power play PK battle, I think, wins this. Goals against, Rangers were 4th, and New Jersey was 8th. Like, these teams are fantastic defensively. So I think what it comes down to is goaltending, and Shesterkin is amazing. I love that name, Shesterkin. Every time I say that word Shesterkin, I think about the Swedish chef from the Muppets, and it's like, Shesterkin! You know, anyways, I just love saying it. But I just can't get around the fact that there's Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, Fox, Shesterkin, the new additions of Tarasenko and Patrick Kane. I mean, the star power. They've got to produce right now. I say the Rangers in 7. A lot of my friends are picking the Devils in that series, and I don't blame them for that. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through the West. Now, the West is a little bit easier for sure. Let's start with the defending champs, the Colorado Avalanche. Okay, so they're playing the Kraken. Well done, Kraken, making the playoffs. Impressive. I mean, embarrassing as a Canucks fan because they've only been in the league 2 times, and here we go. So the Avalanche was only 1-1. No, it can't be that. It says 1-1-1 against the Kraken, 2-0-1. Yes, they only played each other 3 times. So the Kraken actually beat them. The Avalanche don't, in the season series, the Avalanche don't have Landeskog. That's troublesome. Haven't had him all year, though. On the power play, the Avs are 6th. Seattle was 21st. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? I couldn't believe when I read that stat. 21st, Seattle? How did you make the playoffs? Okay. Goals for Avs 11. Seattle 4th. So that is impressive that they score 5-on-5 apparently. And goals against Avs had, I don't even know what they were. Okay. All I know is I think it was a good run by Seattle. Congratulations. But this is the juggernaut of the Avalanche, and I think they're going to just, roll all over you. Avs in 5. It's not going to be close, in my opinion. Okay, Dallas versus the Dallas Stars versus the Minnesota Wild. Now, this is going to be tough. These two both won 2 games against each other. The Stars are good. The Wild are good. This is going to be great. Ottinger, goaltending-wise, he was lights out last year, and it just seems like he's going to have another one of those playoff runs, you know. But on power play, Dallas was 5th, Minnesota was 15th. That's a big difference. And on the PK, Dallas was 3rd, but Minnesota is also very good at 10th. So goals for Dallas was 7th, but Minnesota was 23rd. Now, Kaprizov is a super stud. I can see him lightening up this league. Boldy's having a good year. But it just seems when you look at their roster, they just are missing something. And this is why I'm picking Dallas in 6. But I'll be cheering for the Wild because I love Kaprizov. I think I'm a huge fan of his. Okay, Oilers versus Kings. Now, both 2-2 against each other this season, those 4 matchups. But we just need to stop for a moment and talk about Connor McDavid. 153 points. Guys, this is insane. Now, not only is he ranked up there in the top, I think the top, yeah, I know for a fact the top 13 points scored in a season, it's 10 of them are Gretzky, 3 of them are Lemieux, and then it starts going off. And McDavid, I think, is 15th or something like that. 153. I think Yzerman's 14th. Okay, so 153 points, okay? This is against athletic with big equipment goaltending. These guys don't come into camp not in shape like they used to in the Gretzky days. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if McDavid played in the Gretzky days, oh my goodness, like he would be having Gretzky and Lemieux numbers. Okay, he was almost there now. So Draisaitl has 128 points. And then of course, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins breaks 100 points. Like this team is offensive. Let me just, you know who I'm going to be picking in this here, because I haven't said anything about the Kings yet. But the Oilers are the first team to lead the NHL in power play goals, which was 89, and shorthanded goals, which is 18 in a season since the 1980-81 Islanders. That is insane. Okay, do we need to talk about it? Okay, in 21 games, though, this is the X factor nobody's talking about. In 21 games since Ekholm's debut, the Oilers have registered at 18-2-1 record. That's how good they've been and how great Ekholm has been walking in, including 9 straight wins to close out the regular season. I'm picking the Oilers in 5. I don't care that the Kings were better last year. Fiala is not even playing for them, I don't think, this series. So it's, in my opinion, it's not going to be close. Yeah, okay. Last one. You can tell it's super late because my voice is all raspy. Jets versus Golden Knights. Okay. The Jets have been in playoff mode for the last few weeks now. They finally pushed over the hump and got some success after struggling. People in Winnipeg were going to burn the city. It was that awful, some of those moments. So the Golden Knights, though, I wanted to pick the Jets in this series, but they never won a game against the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights 3-0 on them. And one advantage the Jets should have is in net, where Connor Hellebuyck, he could potentially steal them some games, but one of his former backups is starting in Vegas. If he struggles, they have Jonathan Quick coming into net. Both were average on the power play. On the PK, though, the Jets were 6th. Vegas was 19th. Goals for Vegas was 14th, and Winnipeg was 21st. So Mark Stone's coming back. He's a playoff warrior. I'm cheering for the Jets, but I'm predicting Vegas in 6. I say all that to say, what do you think? I want you to post in the comments who you think's going to win and how many games, and I would love to see what you have to say. I'm pumped about the playoffs. I hope that it's going to be a great playoffs. And if you haven't joined that playoff pool yet, jump in. I'd love to have you. You have to pick all the rounds before it starts, even the Stanley Cup winner. Join it. Kempner Canucks. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.